Welcome to Selfmademan Photography. My name is Janus Dirksen and today I have a new photography project. This is the first video about it and I call it the Selfmade Portrait Photography Project. Now what does it mean? The idea is that I take pictures of myself. So I have the Canon EOS RP here. With this camera I take all the pictures. I have a remote control on it and another one in my hand, and I will take pictures. When I push the button, the camera should focus automatically. For every single photo shoot I will have a camera in my hand, so I am actually taking pictures while I am taking pictures, and I will only use one camera lens for every photo shoot. So today I have the 24mm 1.4 with this outfit, and this is all I have today. The idea behind it is I want to inspire a certain kind of people. There's one kind of person who is never photographed, and that's the photographer. And that's a shame because he's the one who values images probably most, because he puts his entire life into it. So with the technology right now, with the flip out screen, I can actually see myself. I put this camera like this on a tripod, and whenever I push the button here on my remote control, the camera takes a picture. That's the idea. And I want to inspire other photographers and other people to take more pictures of photographers, so that when in 20 years when you're famous, we can look at the images when you started. So that's the idea. I start today in this environment. I have my Yankees cappy with me. I have a Canon AE1, that's the camera I hold in my hand. RP is taking pictures. The 60 Mark II that's filming now, I will have it also there film, so you can actually see how I got the images. And I also want to inspire, one, to take more images of photographers, and two, how easy, quickly and simple it can be to take images of yourself. The philosophy that I want to do right now, how I take images, is I want to take images from below. That's why the tripod is very small now. From above, from the far, from close, from up, from down. Very easy. From below, from above, from far, from low, from the front, from the side, from the back. A quick list that you can go through when you take pictures. I will stay at this place, from the far, from the close, from below, from above, from the side, from the front, from the back. Very quickly. So let's start. So, as I'm filming the photo shoot that I'm going to do now, and I don't talk during the photo shoot, I thought I would just make an audio recording while I play back the video. So I give you a little bit of insight and idea behind the photo shoot. So I'm shooting here with a 24mm wide angle lens, f1.4 at f1.4. I really want to see if I can get the autofocus on point at f1.4, if the camera is clever enough and technology wise good enough to focus on my face. And I start here with the camera on the bottom looking upwards to me, and I try to use different perspectives. So usually the photographer is rarely this low. The camera usually very rarely is this low, but you get a very nice perspective if the camera is down looking upwards, and later I will turn it around. Later the camera will look downwards and I will be lower. And usually 24mm, it always takes a lot of energy for me to choose this lens as my main lens, because I always like to go with the 50, 85 or 135. But I was really positively surprised with this photo shoot, how easily and how nice the images turned out. Now, I have one camera on the tripod that's filming. I have the photo camera on the tripod that you see right here in the image. And all the images you see I take actually at the same place. What I do is I change the position of the camera, so it might look into the direction towards the wall, along the wall, to the other direction. So I change the direction in which the camera shoots. I also change the height of the camera. So here the camera is higher than it was in the last shot. And I also changed the distance. So sometimes I get very close to the camera where you only see a detail, maybe the camera, and sometimes I go further away so you see more of the background. What I find really nice is, although it's a 24mm wide angle lens, you do get a really nice blurry background when you get close to the camera, and you see how close I stand to the camera here.
and you still get relatively much in the frame. It's nice for me because I see myself on the flip out screen. I see exactly, am I in the frame or not, what is in the frame, and sometimes I play with it. Here, for example, you don't see my face, you only see the camera, so it's another portrait without seeing the face, but it's as much as a portrait as when you see my face. And I'm really excited about the series. The idea is to take one lens on the Canon EOS RP. All images will be shot on the EOS RP, and every photo shoot I try to use a different lens. I start with a 24mm lens. In the next video you see the 50mm. Here, for example, I put the camera up and let the lens look downwards, so I am below the camera to get a very different perspective. And even though we're at the same place, we get a different image because I changed perspective. The camera looks downwards to me, and in the beginning it looked upwards to me. It's a very different feel of the image, and you can just play with perspective if you are in one place. I am here shooting at one place only, and I can get different results by changing the distance to the camera. Here I'm relatively far away, so you see me very small, and I changed the direction of the camera, so it might look against the wall. Here it makes a really nice, here's an open background, and we got nice lines. So you see on the left you see the lines, on the right you see the lines, and they go into the horizon, and I'm between them. And I also try to get all sides of me. So here you see now my right side. You see my right, my right body part. Then you see my front, and then I turn again, so you see my left side. So I try that you see all of my sides, not just one-sided, but all of the sides. And also I turn around, so you see my back. And whenever I'm taking pictures, I always treat it like a child getting to the playground. I never have any real idea about the final image. I just have a feeling. I want to take pictures of me. Let's find out what we can do. I always play. I'm not really a fan of perfectionism. I'm much more a fan of chaos. I believe that the greatest results and the greatest feelings I get when I work in chaos, which means I have to have a part of an area in the photo shoot that I cannot control. And when I do have that, when I have uncertainty, that is when excitement gets into the game. When you have laid out a total plan of a photo shoot with the background and the setting, and everything is made up perfectly to nearly be perfection, it might get very boring. You get the image that you had in your mind, and there is no excitement. When you have no idea, or just a little bit idea, I knew I wanted to take pictures of me, and I said I'll try the 24mm lens. How the images would turn out, I had no idea. Would they work? Would I like them? I thought 24mm, I would not like the images. They would be too wide. I don't get portraits with it. It might be too difficult. You might see too much stuff in the background. But actually, in this case, the background looks really, really nice. I really like that you see parts of the background. And also, these images, although they are shot on a wide-angle lens, none of these images actually feel like a wide-angle lens, because the closer I get to the camera, the more blurry background I get, and so I can play with it. I can get away from the camera to get more of the background, or I can get closer to the camera where I get more of me, more of the photographer, more of the person, more of the story, and the background blurs out, but you still see it. And so every photo shoot I will use a different lens, and I will also use a different camera in my hand. I find the camera here is very important because I wanted it to be a photo shoot of a photographer. I want it to be a photo project about the photographer. The photographer is still taking, I am still taking pictures here. Don't get this wrong. I am the photographer in this photo shoot. I am making the composition. I am making the settings of the camera. It's not auto. I shoot everything manually right here. Every setting is manually. But I am also in front of the camera. I set up the video. I do handle the photo camera, but I am also the model. And so you see, this is not just a man in front of the camera, but a photographer. So I need a camera in my hand. Then I have something to play with. When you photograph one single person, a photo shoot with only one person, there's always the question, what do I do with my hands? When you have a couple, they can embrace each other, they can hold hands, you can touch the other one. It's so much easier to do something with your hands. When you are alone, you can put your hands in your pocket, you can embrace yourself a little bit. And I always like it to have something in my hands, maybe a book, maybe a camera, something that is not so large, that is easy to carry, easy to get to the location. The camera that I have here is the Canon AE1. It's very easy to carry, it doesn't need much space, it's very light, and it's a great tool, and it is really important for me because I am a photographer and I want to have some images of me, not just of me as me, but of me with the camera. So I do have some images of me as a photographer. And that is the whole idea of this project. I also wanted to test out how good is the autofocus of the Canon EOS RP. I know it's great. It's as great as the 6D Mark II, which is also very great. And I was really fascinated. Look at these images. The camera, the angle to my face is so hard, and with the head on my head, the camera cannot actually really see my face, and yet it really focuses well on my face. Although it should not see my face as my face because the angle is very strong, I have a head on my head, and it should not be this easy for the camera to see me. Now this was the first photo shoot, there are many more to come, and thank you very much.